There are three types of variable in JavaScript that calls var, let, and const. So before difference between them, we need to know what is actually variable. So a variable in programming is a symbolic name that acts as a reference or placeholder for storing data. It allows you to save, update, and retry values in memory while your programs runs, like that. And this is the reserved keyword for declaring a variable, and this is the name, and you can just give variable name to any name, but without some criteria. Like you can see the variable name criteria, how you can declare variable in JavaScript on the screen. Now this is just a normal variable that's hold 10, or you can store like type of data you can store. You can store like an array of data, multiple fields of data, like a web and code. Oh, something like that. So this is a variable that's hold just a array, and this array we have this two data. Make sure that your variable name is readable for what you need to use it. You can declare variable in three ways, like var, let, and const in JavaScript, and they have some difference between them. Like we can declare variable with var keyword, and like that we can redeclare variable with var keyword, but it cannot redeclare variable with let and just const keyword. And you can give just variable name to any name, and you can redeclare variable name, just this name and this name, same scope, but it is working. But if we just comment out this, okay, it is just showing error, just cannot redeclare block scope variable. So var keyword variable is a global scope variable that accessible from anywhere in the same just block scope. We cannot redeclare let and const variable. So now it is working. So I have just initialized simple ban app. You can use Node.js, and I have just initialized, and this is my JavaScript file, and in my package.json I have a script called start, and I'm using ban. So it is alternative Node.js and very faster, and I like that, and it is very minimal also. So I'm washing this flag. So if I run my project ban start, so you can give this script to any name, but to make sure that your commands is the same to run, and you can just change your index.js file to any name. So we are just starting ban start. Okay, it is just displaying for 20, 30, and 50 from our this file. So we have just declared three variable with var, and it is the variable name is a, and we have declared a second variable named b with let keyword, and our third number variable name is c, and it's declared with const keyword, and we're just console.log our variable name. So after redeclare the var keyword variable, it is just reassigned or values these two variable name in the same scope, but they are just similar. Their name is just similar, and they are just reassign the value console.log here, and this is our value for a, and we can use like that to see where it is happened. So we are getting value from a, shift J, and if we log this console.log a after or before this redeclared a, then we will get this train. But after redeclared, it is just reassigned our this a, this variable with this new value. So this is the basic of var keyword, and we cannot do this with let and const. So now our a value is just 10, is just changed by 10. Okay, because we are now using this a, and after if we use this after here, then it is just using this a, and this a is just similar to this a. That's why it is just reassigned our new value and just removed our previous value. So this is it. But we can use it here, and first value is 10 and the second value is 20. So this is the first difference between let, var and const. So now we will see our second difference. So this is our second example. There we have declared 3 variable. If our condition, if it is true, then there is declared 3 variable and we can use it here. But now this is in the functional scope, and our x, it is declared with var keyword. That's why, and it is in the just function scope. That's why we can use this x in anywhere in this same function, but we cannot use this outside of this function. So this is not for now. It's not global scope. Okay, we're getting error. That is, cannot find variable x, and it is the reference error. Okay, so this is on the function. This is function scope, and this is just block scope, like let declared variable with let and const in a function. It is just block scoped. That means we cannot use this is and block. This is an if block. We cannot use this y and z outside of this. Okay, cannot find variable y, cannot find variable z. Okay, it's reference error. It is not working. Y is not defined, or just reference error. Okay, now it is working, but in the same function, it is just we are just accessing x outside of this block, but it is working. So this is the second difference between let, var and const. So first example is just we can redeclare variable with var, and we cannot with let and const. And in our second example, we can just declare variable in a function, and if we declare variable in function and with just var keyword, then it will be functional scope and accessible from the whole function. And if we try to if we declare this variable with let and const in a same function, and it will be just block scope, we cannot use this y and z in that just outside of this block. But we can use suppose we need y or and z, or you can give it just any name. Suppose you need const name is equals to AWebCode. Okay, so now this is block scope, but this block this block is now in our global function scope. Now it will be just worked in the whole function. Like we are now access our name from here. Also we can access name, CLC name. Okay, we are accessing from both of the place. We are accessing, we are declared our variable with const, but also we can declare it with let. Yeah, it is just the same, and also we can declare it with this var. Okay, so 3 variable is the same. It is now on the function global scope, and it is just working as expected. It is just available with any keyword in the whole function, but with only in the block scope variable, only var is available outside of this block in a function, but not just let and const variable like that. X, Y, Z, Y cannot find a variable, or Y is just not defined, or reference error. So this is the second difference between them. So variable, declared variable with var keyword, it is just functional scope, and declared let and const, it is just block scope. It not works outside of the block. And if we need to use variable outside of block, you can use like that in a just function top or function bottom, then you can use it. In our third number of example, we can just reassign value that in a variable that declared with var keyword or let keyword, but we cannot do this with const keyword. Like that, we can declare or reassign variable that has just declared with var keyword, and we can just reassign, and we can assign like a with new value. Also we can use like string, yes, or we can use like any type of value, because it is JavaScript. We have not set strictly this type, that's why we can set any type of value in here. And now it is just reassigned. Our this value is just removed and just assign a new value. And let is just similar in this case as just var, and it is just assigned just new value, and you are just getting just output with this new value. But we cannot do this with just declared variable with const keyword. We cannot do this. If we just comment out this, okay, it is just, we're just getting error. This assignment will throw because f is constant, and constant, that means it is just read only variable. It will be not assigned, but we can reassign variable with like suppose const user. Suppose we have an user called name AWeb, okay, name AWebCode, and we're just playing this user. Okay, now if we try to user dot name is equals to just AWebCode. Okay, we are now just reassigning this reference of this object, but we cannot directly reassign just primitive value like that. Like we cannot make f is equals to any type of data. We cannot do this. But we can sense that variable is declared with const. We can sense the value of our object, or maybe can AWebCode, and now user is equals to, okay, it is also not user 0 is equal to AWebCode. Oh, now it is working. So we can reassign variable with the declared with const keyword like that, or just we can use object, and we can reassign object property value, and we can add this extra property in object, something like that. Name AWebCode user dot name, or user dot hi. It is not hi. Okay, we we have just added new property and we have assigned new value that calls hi. You can add any type of value in here. Okay, so this is our third example that we can reassign value directly with var and let keyword declared variable, but we cannot do this with this directly with that variable is declared with const, but we can change the or reassign value that declared with just as object or just array. So our fourth practical example with between let, var and const, we can hosting that variable that declared with var keyword, but we cannot do this with let and const keyword. That means we can access a var keyword variable and or just before it is just declared or just initialization, something like that. We are accessing this g after just before initialization or declaration. So before initialization we are just hosting this g, but we are not getting a value, but we cannot do this with let and const also. It will give an error that is cannot access h before this is initialization. So this is the third difference. And also const as same as let. In this case we cannot access a variable that declared with let and const, but we can access a variable before initialization or declaration with just var keyword. This is our three types and four example of between let, var and const. I think you have learned something new, and if we recap this, so first of all, what is variable? So you know what is variable. So variable is just for a name that there we can just holds just primitive. That means we can just hold single any type of value, boolean number or any type of value, and we can reuse them. So this is the primary primary definition of variable, like that. Array of names equals to AWebCode. Okay, so this is how you can just give a keyword, give the variable name, and you can assign any type of value in your variable, and you can reuse them, and it is just assigned in your just memory, and you can just reuse them in the function, in the same function. You can just export it, export const like that, and you can use it in another function. Okay, so there are three types of variable. There are three types of variable that we can declare variable in JavaScript. So that means there are three types. This way we can declare or initialize variable in JavaScript with like let, var and const, but they have some different or difference. So if we see our first example, so this is we can redeclare variable that just declare with the var, and we can just redeclare variable with same scope with var keyword. We can redeclare variable with same scope with var keyword, but we cannot do this in the same scope with var keyword. But suppose this is any scope and this is outside of scope, but in this case we can declare variable with So if we recap this, CLG. Okay, first of all, a or a is equals to 1, CLG a. Wow, it is working. It is in a scope, but it is working because it is now in global scope, but in a function scope. In a function scope, it is just accessible only on this function in any scope. So this is the first example, and this is the second example that we can in the function scope. This is a function in JavaScript. This is normal function, that function keyword, function name, and in the function var declare variable with the var keyword. It is a function scope. That means we can access this variable from here or anywhere in a function we can access, but we cannot access this function scope var keyword variable in outside of this function. Okay, but in a function this declare variable with the let and const, it is still block scope. We cannot access them outside of this block. So this is a block, we cannot access them like here. We cannot access them like this. We cannot access. Okay, this is the second example, but we can access, like we need variable in the whole function. So we can declare const or let variable in here, and we can access in whole function. Okay, so third example is we can reassignment variable that declared with var and let, but we cannot do this with the const keyword, but we can reassign variable value that this holds just array or object with const keyword, and we cannot just reassign variable with just declared with const keyword, but like we can reassign with directly like var and keyword, var and let keyword, like let is equals to this 300 and a is equal to 400. Now our value is just 400, or you can change it to give any value, and it will be just this exact value. And this is the third example. So we can just reassign the declared variable with var and let, but we cannot do this directly with const keyword. So our fourth example is, so var is hostingable. That means can access variable before declaration or initialization with var keyword, but we cannot do this. It will be just to give development time error or just runtime error, just let and const, but we can just hosting that variable is declared with just var keyword. So we can access variable that initialized, and we initialize after, and we are just accessing it just before. So this is undefined, but variable is hosted. So it is undefined. That means variable is defined, but it has no value assigned. So this value is not accessible from here. The function is accessible. Means function, like if we declare function here before initialization, we are now able to access the variable, or sorry, function. So this is not our goal. So this is just fourth example.